Alright guys, jumping into the palette, I'm starting off with a transition color, which is going to be this light tan color. I did apply shadow shields. You can use tape either way just to give me a sharp line on the edges. I find that it's a lot easier to do any sort of cut crease or half cut crease if I do use tape. So I'm just blending that through the crease and then going in with a little bit deeper tan shade. And we're going to start building up that color. Now I'm using a little bit smaller brush. This is a Wayne Goss brush, and I'm focusing this a little bit lower, more tightly in the crease than I did that first shade. The first shade I kind of just blew it out just to kind of give me some sort of transition and start for this look, but you really want to focus this right in the crease, sweeping back and forth until you feel like the pigment is deep enough, and then you can work on the outer edge like you see me doing there. Now I'm going into this matte maroon color, and I'm going to start on that outer edge. So I'm using a different brush now and really working this on that outer V area, and this is where that tape comes in, or the shadow shields. It just keeps everything nice and clean. I find if I don't have this, it can get really messy and you're gonna have to clean it up anyways with concealer or a wipe. So I think this is just easier. So I'm sweeping this into the crease and then packing it on that outer V. I want most of the color on the outside, but I am gonna bring it in all the way through the crease. So now I'm going in with this deep, dark, this is like a bark brown. And I am going to do the same thing. I'm just going to really pack this color on. We're really going to focus on deepening that outer part of the eye. I like to stipple it on and then do little circular motions to make sure there's no harsh edges, but really packing on that color in layers. And then I'm sweeping this again through that crease before we go in with concealer. So I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape to cut the crease. I'm only going to do a half cut crease, and I'm just using a small Smith brush to really carve out that area. I have hooded eyes, so I go way above my natural crease, and you'll find that you'll do that with most cut creases or half cut creases. So just take your time, use that concealer, and really make kind of a rounded out look. But I mean, it really just depends on your style. I should probably go higher than I do, but I'm pretty new to them, so I'm just taking baby steps. So now you see me setting it with a clear powder. You always want to set it because it's just going to be easier to work with after that. So I'm working on the other eye, and then I do take a translucent powder or a light eyeshadow with a fluffy brush and set it so we don't have any skipping. Now after you've set that, we're going to move back into the palette, and I'm mixing this light champagne-y pink color with just this yellow tone shimmery shade. And I am using a small flat brush, and I'm going to pack this on the inner portion of my lid where we put that concealer. So just about 1/3 of the way in, just packing on that color. I did wet my brush, but it's up to you if you'd like to do that or not. And then I'm going to go into this deep dark brown shade, and I am going to blend on those outer edges where the concealer meets that shadow that we put down before, because you don't want anything harsh. So now I'm going into this shimmery shade, and I am just again going to soften in between that dark matte brown and that concealer. And now for the star of the show, I'm going in with this blue. I did wet my brush, and take your time packing this on. So I'm packing this right on the center of the lid. We really want it to be vibrant, really intense on that center of the lid. So I just keep packing it on, and I want to go all the way up to where I cut that crease. And again, I'm new to these, so bear with me, but I'm just applying it all the way, trying to be precise right on that line where I did cut the crease. And I'm doing a little bit of sweeping motions here to kind of blend it so there isn't a harsh line. And then you see me blending the outer corners as well, just trying to make sure that it's as blended as possible. So now I'm going to do some winged liner, and this is really easy when you have these shadow shields on, especially because you can clean up with concealer afterwards. So I'm just doing a winged liner on both eyes before I remove these shadow shields, but it does help for sure. So now I'm going to go in with concealer, of course my Shape Tape, and I did apply lashes off camera, but see here I am making sure to clean up under those wings in case I had any shadow that was under there. I'm wetting my beauty blender with my Gerard Cosmetic Spray, and I'm going to start blending into my skin. So I'm using just regular beauty blender and just blending, nothing crazy to see here, but the Shape Tape has stolen my heart. I now compare everything to Shape Tape because it just always looks good and it covers pretty much anything. So once you're done blending out your concealer, we're going to go in and set it. I'm using the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening. Now I do like this. This is an OG I used to love a lot. I like this only under the eye and on the chin area. This is not something you want to set your whole face with. So to set the rest of the face, I'm going in with my Velvetizer from Urban Decay, which I have raved about. It really gives you a beautiful poreless look. So I'm using a sponge to stipple that in. And then also using a little bit of this Charlotte Tilbury powder to sweep over the face as well, which has become a favorite of mine too. So now I'm going to bronze up with this Guerlain bronzer. This is a really light, natural bronzer. If you're medium or darker, it won't show up on you. It's just like a really subtle bronze. And I've used it a lot, but it doesn't give you like a crazy dark look. And then I'm going to blush up the cheeks with this Natasha Denona blush duo. This is my favorite one from her. Just baby doll cheeks as usual. So I'm using a Morphe brush to apply that to the apples of my cheeks. And then of course cutting my contour just to make sure that it's really sharp. So now I'm going in with the Huda Beauty, I think this is the Golden Sands palette. Might be the Pink Sands. I'll link it down below, but I'm just going to apply a highlighter to the tops of my cheekbones, just using a Morphe fan brush for that. And of course applying probably more than I should, and on my Cupid's bow as well. And then we're going to jump back into the palette. We're going to finish off the eyes. So I'm going to take this dark brown shade and really put this close to the lower lash line, almost as if I was lining my lower lash line with shadow. I'm using a small smudging brush to make sure that it's really tightly packed on my lower lash line. And then I'm going to go into the palette into that second color that we had used before, that tan color. And I'm just going to use a pencil brush to sweep back and forth just to soften that line a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So then going back over to make sure that line is still pretty prominent. And now I'm going in with a bright blue liner from Marc Jacobs, which I love. I love these liners. And then I am going to go back in and wipe off all that powder that I had that was baking under my contour just to make everything sharp. And my dog just hacked. So glamorous here on Babsbeauty channel. So then I decided to take a little bit of Urban Decay glitter and apply it to the center just for a little extra pop. And now I'm going to line my lips with Charlotte Tilbury. I think this is Pillow Talk, I believe, or Iconic Nude. It's one or the other. I'll have to figure it out. Maybe I think it's Iconic Nude, possibly. Yes, it is. So I'm just going to pencil in my outer corners of my lips. And now I'm going in with Tribeca from Lipland Cosmetics. And I thought I needed to add some setting spray, of course, so I'm going to douse myself with Gerard Cosmetics Coconut Spray, and I will have my code on the screen if you want to save 30%. This is like my holy grail. And then I thought my lips looked a little too grayish, so I went in with Lipland Rezy, and that completes the look. I hope you guys enjoy. The palette is available today. I will have it linked down below. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.